With all of the turmoil in Hong Kong lately, it's easy to forget that there are still moments of zen. Today we found people on their way home from work taking stock of the city's momentous events.
I think people are quite united.
But Joe Key was also uncertain about where the pro-democracy movement is heading.
But if you ask me, is it going to be changed? I feel quite negative about that, yes.
One thing organizers can't be disappointed with was Sunday's turnout. For the third time in less than 3 months, more than 1 million people took to the streets, demanding less interference from China in the city's affairs. Harder to evaluate is whether the ongoing rallies are getting the protesters any closer to their goals.
We want to protect them.
Organizer Bonnie Leung says she's hoping the unrest will eventually bring Hong Kong's chief executive to the bargaining table.
Because what we want is not any more weeks of protest. We want is a real result. So a dialogue has to happen.
But Carrie Lam and her bosses in Beijing have shown zero inclination of bending to any of the demonstrators' demands. No apology from police for heavy-handed tactics, including firing more than 2,000 rounds of tear gas, a lot of it within the last week. No independent inquiry into police actions, and certainly no promises about future legislation or holding free elections for the leader of Hong Kong.
We are seeing the beginning of the end.
This longtime ally of China's government told us he believes the protests will fizzle. No matter the number of people in the streets nor the level of violence, he says Beijing would never allow protesters to dictate who controls Hong Kong.
Eventually, the deadlock will disappear because people will seek other means of putting pressure on the government and on Beijing.
Those other means could be running anti-Beijing candidates in upcoming municipal elections. But pro-democracy advocates say ignoring them is a recipe for more unrest, especially from younger, more radicalized protesters who already feel unfairly targeted by police. Chris Brown, CBC News, Hong Kong.